Notts County Talk, it's Thursday. One thing, the Pavis perspective, episode 78. It's the Barnet preview. As always with George, it's been a very busy, let's say a busy morning to be a Notts fan, but also it's been a very busy week, hasn't it, with things going on all the way back to the Dorking game on Saturday on TV.
Yeah, extremely busy. Two massive wins, really. I think Eastleigh, for me, was the better of the wins in terms of second half performance. I think we saw Ruben's probably best performance in a Notts shirt in that second half, and he even confesses it himself. He agrees it's up there with one of his best, and you can't disagree. And I've said it a couple of times now in the videos. We're just too much. We're too much. The way we control possession, it must be horrendous to play against. Like the opposition just can't get near us. They can't get near us. And the only time Eastleigh score was when they got a penalty, which they really shouldn't have got. But we move because we end up winning the game. We end up scoring 3 really well worked goals. So I'm happy, and we scored from directly from a corner.
Yeah, we did.
Which is something I think we should talk about tonight because it was interesting. I thought
100%. Yeah. In general, though, how are you doing? Because obviously now it feels non-stop. Feels like I'm just thinking about Notts every day now. Every minute detail, even looking at the Bromley keeper situation for Saturday and the Wrexham game, it's just always on my mind. Everything. Yeah. So are you taking time to relax, George? That's what I'm saying.
Well, I've not got any bookings to go to any spas anytime soon, but it'd be nice, Tom. So it's my birthday in June, so
there you go. Let's have a look then. Let's have a look who we've got tonight. As always, really great to have you. Molly, looking forward to this episode. Wayne and Molly from Portsmouth, you pies. Thank you for joining us, you two. Really, really appreciate that. I got your message as well on Facebook not too long ago.
Yeah.
Remember, you can always message us with anything. We usually do reply, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We try our best to reply there. Give people a few stats, actually, as well this week. I've asked for. Evening, Dave, Paul, Charlie, Chris, Phil, Josh, Derek, Margaret, Chris again. Really appreciate you all coming and spending your Thursday with us. It's a massive one. And to show the dedication, this has never happened. I've just been speaking to you, haven't I, George? Seconds before I went live. I've got a full plate of dinner next to me that I haven't started. And it's pure dedication.
Let's have a look. Show us.
I'm not going to show you. Do you want me to explain it?
Hash brown cob.
No. Sausage, mash, asparagus, broccoli, peas, mange two, gravy.
Mange two.
Say
it properly.
Could have put some mustard with it. That's always good with sausage and mash. But I'm looking at it now. Yeah, there's a little bit of mash gone, but I've never left it this late. I've been very busy. I'm looking at it now. So if you see me sneaking some mash or maybe even a bit of asparagus in the episode, it's worth a subscribe, isn't it? Worth a subscription. And if you listen on Spotify and you think that sounds decent, that does sound all right. Yeah. Give us a 5-star review. I can't think of anything more worthy. So we'll get on to it then. Paul, let's petition to get Ruben or Macca on here. Ooh. We had Ruben a while ago, didn't we, George? It'd be good to get him back on. He was fantastic last time. I haven't had Macca on, but there might be a few surprises towards the end of the season, right there, George? You never know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You never know. Who else would you like to see on here? Who else would you like to see on the channel? We've got Ruben and Macca shouts there. Let us know. Who do you think would be good? Who would you like to chat?
How about you, Tom? Who would you like? Oh, what's going on here?
Jody Jones.
Jody Jones would be a good one.
What Jody Jones has to say. I'd like to see what Aidan Baldwin.
I'd really like to have a chat to on here. Brooksy.
Do you know I'd really like to chat to on here is Rollo.
Yeah, Rollo, class.
Fantastic. Charlie says Cameron or Scott. Paul says Jim. Jim would be great on here. Jim's already been on the channel, hasn't he? Shouting that he wants a 10 every week.
He's on it most weeks, yeah. Mr. 8.
Yeah, I'd love Rollo, to be fair. Talk about the season he won Player of the Year, coming back from injury to be a big presence in the team now. Toby would be class to get on. Not played much, but it'd be interesting. Yeah, it would. Phil Parkinson. Yeah, I could tell him that earlier in the season I tipped him to be sacked by November. That would go down well. I'll probably put the shakes into him. You know, I'd say, I don't think you've got it in you. I don't think you've got it, Phil. Aaron the man, that'd be interesting. Yeah, quite a few. Get Jim to do player ratings. I would love it. Cameron, people saying Cameron. You know, there might be a few surprises towards the end. There might be. Right then, George. So going back to the Dorking one, I missed that. You said it was a fantastic win. You said Eastleigh was better. Dorking was professional, wasn't it? Yeah. I'll say a scratch back 5. If you look at it, you've got a converted wing back. You've got a fullback that was a centre back in Chickson that went to a wing back, and you've had to convert him back to a centre back in there. You know, you've got Cameron dropping out ill. You've got Rollo playing in there. You've got Badrami, who, let's be honest, didn't play very well against Bromley coming back in. And then you've got a winger that's only been playing wing back, admittedly very, very good, for 3/4 of the season. And you've got an attacking midfielder at the other wing back, and we're very professional. Very good.
Yeah.
It was superb. I watched it on... It's interesting. I watched it in a bar in London on BT Sport, and you get a different perspective. You can just see the whole pitch. And, you know, from that perspective, they didn't really get near us. There was a 10-minute spell in the second half. Insane. You know, just after we scored the second, but the first goal in the second half was insane.
Yeah, you got to give a lot of credit to Dorking. I think that they came with a game plan, and it wasn't like any game plan we've really seen at Meadow Lane this season. And it was, you know, attack them, and they did. Even when they went 1 up, they didn't park the bus. They wanted more.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, we had more possession for them than them as we always seem to. So it didn't really work out the way they wanted to. But you have to give them some credit on. You know, having the guts to do that really against a side that, I mean, technically speaking, do it the best in the league, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And the stats would back that up as well. So you got to give credit to Dorking, but like I said, they're just too much. We're too much. Like this spell that spell we had in the second half against Eastleigh, going back to that game, just after half time, it's like no team can defend against that in this division. We can literally beat every team in this division comfortably when we're playing the way that we know we can play. We've seen it a few times this season where first half's not been great. We go in second half, maybe there's a couple of tweaks from Williams. Maybe he says his bit, the players say their bit, and they seem to come out, and it's different. And that's happened a few times this season. And you could say we're built, like, you know, getting a bit of a habit of conceding goals and things like that. But I don't think we've really conceded goals where we've been undone. It's been majority of goals have been from a direct mistake. I know technically every goal is from a mistake, but it's from a direct mistake of a misplaced pass near the 18-yard box or something like that. Whereas in the case against Eastleigh, it was a penalty. It shouldn't have been a penalty. So I don't think you can be really too critical of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, all in all, I just think if we can sort of stay in a similar level of form to what we saw in that second half against Eastleigh, you know, if we don't win the league, it's gonna be very, very upsetting. But if we can carry that form into the playoffs, we'll win the playoffs.
Yeah. I'll go back to that in a second. I'm just reading some of the comments. Gary said, even everyone, first time in ages I've managed to get on the start of Notts County Talk. So yeah, welcome, Gary. Really good to have you. And then there was another comment I just wanted to have a look at from Liam Braisdale. I hope I said it right. Nice to see a Notts perspective on the title race this weekend. Could be absolutely crucial for both teams. Wrexham fan. Actually, it's good to have you on, Liam. So good to have you listening along with us. There'll be some tongue-in-cheek comments about Wrexham, but you know, at the end of the day, there you go. At the end of the day, I don't know a title race in any division as good as this in recent years at all. Like, it's so good. You look at the league table, it's literally 91 points, 90 points, 68 points.
Yeah. It's the best title race in National League history. It literally is.
Yeah.
The numbers don't lie.
They're so far behind. Everyone else is so far behind. So it's insane. It's insane. Yeah, going back to Eastleigh, the penalty is... We don't need to talk about it because we put 3 in. The penalty is shocking. I've watched it back in slow motion. They're both at it. And if you're giving that as a penalty, you're having 20 penalties a game. So yeah, I thought the ref. You know what? I thought the ref started the game really, really well. I mean, he told them to step back, coming forward to take throw-ins. You know, he cautioned managers or staff members in the dugout. He was very good at that. And then it quickly became apparent that he was just one of the referees that wanted the attention. So everything was about him. I did say at the start of the second half to Will and Jake, I don't know if you heard, I said, I guarantee he gives Notts a penalty here. And he did. And that screams two things to me. One, again, it's all about him. Or two, he knows he made a mistake first half and wanted to even it up. Although there was the Maka penalty shout before that, which we didn't get.
Yeah, Stonewall as they get that one.
But it's interesting, like you say, to see teams that can't live with us. I've seen a lot of Wrexham fans, quite a few Wrexham fans. I saw a conversation earlier that basically acknowledge that we are the best team in the division when it comes to how we play. But they found ways to do it, which I would agree with. They found ways to do it. When it comes to the very crucial games, thinking Dagenham, Yeovil, we haven't found ways to do it. But our ability to be that good is what's won us so many games. We are the best team in the division from a footballing perspective, no doubt. We're two very different teams, but they just find a way every time. But, you know, we're starting to find a way. We were so good on Tuesday night in that second half. I don't know if there's a better half this season. I've said it about a few things. I said it about the second half against Southend. But they were chasing shadows and they were decent first half, weren't they? They were kind of comfortable. And then all of a sudden, Aaron the man is put in one of the best performances of the season. Rubens just grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck. We could have had more. Did they have a shot second half?
Not that I remember.
No, I don't think they did.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't think they did. Yeah, we were just superb. And there's not much more to say about it, really. I don't think we were just class, and Eastleigh had no answer at all.
Maka's 4 off from the record as well. Gets his 36th for the season. Incredible.
Yeah. So Ricky Miller, if you're watching, be scared. Be very scared. Phil says, let's not talk about Wrexham's goal against Southend. I honestly, you're right. There's no point. It's just no point. It's standard, isn't it? Week in, week out.
Yeah, we'll stick to Notts, I think.
Yeah, week in, week out. Eastleigh and Barnet, both potential playoff opponents. If we can do the double over them, that's a huge psychological edge. Yeah, it is. It is. I thought they're actually Eastleigh are a good side. That they're a strong side. We've always struggled going there, but when you literally sit us next to Eastleigh and compare the full game, if we got them in the playoffs, you'd have to be happy. You'd have to be happy. So we'll get on to now talk about Junior Marias. Then we'll talk about the thing that a lot of people in the chat are talking about, Wrexham game, and did we get Wrexham tickets and what we think about that. Because quite a few people have asked that. We'll address that in a couple of minutes. But Junior Marias signs, George. Your message to me, do you mind me sharing it?
No, I don't mind.
Bit of a strange one, you said.
Yeah, not so much as look. I've got a lot of faith in the recruitment systems that we've got in place at Notts. But I'm right in saying this, aren't I? He's 27, isn't he?
Yes.
That seems I'm not saying old, but because 27 just isn't old, is it? But we've not seen the owners really make many signings long term like that for someone even 25 and below. Because I think Maka's 25, isn't he? And I think you know, in terms of a long term project sort of player, he was the oldest one, if my memory doesn't deceive me, under this current ownership. So yeah, a bit of a strange one. But then you kind of factor in the fact that we could potentially be losing players at the end of the season. You know, Cairo Mitchell's gone out on loan, hasn't he? And his contract's up at the end of the season, so we will be down a striker.
Yeah.
So it kind of does make sense. And look, the first thing I did was look at his goal scoring record, and he scored 10 already this season, which it's all right going, you know. But you know, for it to be a striker that is being picked up by Notts. And I don't know if you've watched this interview, but he talks about how excited he was and then when he heard that Notts were interested, he sort of jumped at the opportunity. To see the delivery that strikers get at Notts and the balls they get in and how easy it can be if you're in the right position, his numbers could be flying. Yeah, the only reason I think it could be a little bit strange is just his age, but it's not a major. If he was 30, I'd be saying I really don't get it. But he's 27. It's a 3-year contract, but this is the prime year of your career, I think, when you're a footballer, isn't it?
I think he'll be good. I think he'll
yeah,
be
no,
right.
I think he will be good. I agree with you. I do think he'll be good. But assessing the model, it seems a little bit beyond in terms of age what we've normally seen.
All I would say is about him, and I agree with you that. Well, I look at his age. I look at his age 27. I think that's all right. But last season he got scored 12 in 24. And he played 24 games, scored 12 for Dagenham, and then 10 in 30 this time. I agree with you. Putting him in a team like this, those goals are going to increase massively. They will increase. And then I do a lot. I take a lot of my information from looking at their tweets. I don't know if you went on Dagenham's tweet to see that he'd gone and see what their fans said. A lot of them are saying like most people saying great, Marias and McCallum gone within the space of a month or so. But a lot of people are saying like actually he's a really good player and they're going to miss him. Apparently works really hard, which you have to do in a Williams team, so that ticks off. Yeah. But I think he's a different kind of striker. I think he's going to be... Macca's very good at closing down, but Macca's not massively physical, is he? I think Marias is going to be a bit more of a presence up there. I also think...
Well, the word that he said was pest, one of the words that describe himself.
Yeah, exactly. And we've modelled the team on versatility, haven't we? So you've got a player like Badrami that can play right back, well, I'm not going to say right back, it didn't go to plan, but centre back or midfielder. You've got Jody Jones that can seemingly play anywhere. I think our decision to make the team is not to make a team where you've got 2 players to fill every hole. I think you've got like three players that can play maybe 4 different positions. You know what I mean? Yeah. Mariah, you've got someone that can play up top in a 2 or can drop off into where Scott and Lemon Haven's played. He could be an outright there. Yeah. And you know what? Looking at him and looking at some of the goals he scored, he hits the ball well. If the ball's bounced around the box late on in the game and you've stuck him up there, I think that's a really good signing, personally. And also, don't want to say it, but if we don't go up at all, Macca will be gone. You've then got Junior Marias and Kedwin Scott as your attackers with money from Macca to build that squad around again. I think it's smart. At the worst case, we don't go up. You've then got Junior Marias as a striker who's fairly good, isn't he? I think it's pretty good signing. But like you say, going back to the playoffs, it would be hard to see Notts in full flow, not do something in the playoffs if it came to that. Personally, I think it's
it's a positive move, isn't it? You can see the sort of looking into the future, and it's got to give you a little bit of hope that obviously we're in a fantastic position to get promoted this season. Obviously, it doesn't always go that way, but it's sort of like either way for him. He's ready to be an EFL player. He's sort of saying that, but he's also ready to do another season in the National League, which no one wants. But that is, it's a possibility. So it's sort of good for me to have someone tied down like that, because unless he has an outstandingly good season like Macca did this season, there's no sort of losing him.
Yeah, and Paul says also we don't want to go into Wrexham with one out-and-out striker. No, don't. No. It looks like Macca's going to the England C game as well, so don't want to say there might be a bit of insurance there if the worst happens. But
true.
Yeah, it's a good signing. I think it's a good signing. Also, for me, that's Kedwin Scott's season pretty much done. I think if you're doing this, bringing this in, you've not got long left.
And
a tear.
I hope not. I really hope not.
I agree. I hope not, but I don't know. It's not looking fantastic.
It's funny though, isn't it? You're saying about the Dagenham fans saying about losing McCallum.
Yeah,
he can't even score a 3-yard tap in.
Well, he can, but just not in the game where he's been paid to miss. So, holes in his feet for that one. But there we go. Charlie, do you guys trust Mayor against Scunthorpe? Yeah, there's also the Tiernan Brooks call-up, national team call-up. I thought Tiernan Brooks was brilliant on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I thought
he's got some character, hasn't he?
Yeah, I love that from a young keeper.
Character. I think Slocum will be back for Scunthorpe. Jordan, who's on the channel now and again, says some rash things, but he called a blinder, didn't he, on Tuesday about Lemon Evans being good in the air. He sat in hospitality and he said Slocum came in and he was hoping to be back for Scunthorpe and it's looking likely. And I saw someone online say that they saw Slocum after the Eastleigh game and asked when he'd be back, and he was saying it's looking like Scunthorpe. Be nice, wouldn't it?
It would.
Because I'll be honest. After the performance that Mayor put in for us last time, it doesn't fill you with confidence, does it? And things like that can niggle away at young players.
Yeah, they can. Also, then the lack of confidence in him from Williams choosing Brooks over him. You don't think, has he got any dart there? Yeah. I also think I saw some people say that they wouldn't play Slocum because they want him for the big game, like the Wrexham game coming up, and that if they did play Slocum too early and he got injured, would be in a mess. But I think we're at that point now where if Slocum got injured again, you've got Tiernan Brooks.
Yeah, you've got to seize every game though. Yeah, I know it's all going well saying, but you've got to rest him for this. Every game's a cup final now. The old cliche, I'm hit. That's the first one tonight. Every game is a cup final. Yeah. And I understand the Wrexham game is huge. It's a 6-pointer, isn't it, really? But if you don't win the game before that, or if you don't win the Scunthorpe game, it might mean nothing by the time we get to that game. So we've just got to focus on winning every game. Basically, there's no. I don't think we can really say we need to rest certain players for certain games. We need to field our best team every single game.
Yeah, Alex says he doesn't think it really matters who's in goal against Scunthorpe. James says we'll have to outscore Scunthorpe, whoever's in goal. I can't see a scenario where the winner of the Wrexham game doesn't win the league. I think it'll be that tight. Yeah. I think if someone goes and wins that game, especially Wrexham, with the little advantage they've got, I think they win the league. I think if Notts go and win that game, I think Notts probably win the league.
It's going to be lovely if they win that game, isn't it? Oh my God.
Just before we go on to talk about those tickets then, well, should we talk about the tickets first? Let's have a think. Ooh, go on. Let's just go straight into it because I know a lot of people are there. First of all, George, what's the poll question today?
The question is, did you get tickets for Wrexham? But it's not coming up in my chat. Here we go. Did you manage to get tickets for the Wrexham game? 13% say yes. 41% say unfortunately not. That's not adding up.
It's just changed.
Yeah, and 46% say I couldn't make it anyway.
So, did you get tickets for Wrexham?
Yes.
And who managed to get the tickets for Wrexham?
You did, with my season ticket number. Yeah.
I did.
Very lucky.
I was in the queue right at the start and got in there at 9:15. Number 400 in the queue, I think. At that point, I'm thinking, well, if people are buying a couple of tickets, I've got no chance. If people are buying 3 tickets, definitely not. Like families wanting to go. And the second I got in, I was letting it probably 30 seconds past 9, all gone. All gone. So I was thinking there's got to be an issue here. And then I sat there for 40 minutes refreshing the page, and every so often, I think it was like 10 past 9, 25 past 9 and 9:30, tickets just dribbled through and I managed to pick them up but it had to be so quick. How many tickets are available? 1,060, I believe.
Yeah, that's right.
I really do understand. There's a lot of angry people, which in hindsight, I never really thought of it. I thought I'd go on this morning and get my tickets. Like I knew it'd be hard to get them. I thought,
we've never been faced with an issue like that, really, have we?
No,
obviously tickets have sold out, but it's never been to the way it was today for the Wrexham game.
Yeah. Alex, I was part of the 14% that got one. I bought 5 tickets with 1 season ticket number. Ticket office didn't ask for the rest of the season ticket numbers.
That's weird.
I don't think that's not fantastic. Obviously, it's good for you, Alex. You've got them, but that's really gonna,
that's obviously what's happened, isn't it?
The way I
thought you could only get one ticket per season ticket. I thought
that's what I thought. No, Alex says they were all for season ticket holders. Yeah. So, but they just weren't asked for those. It's really difficult because there were people queuing from 6:30. From what I read and what I saw, there were a good 100 to 200 people queuing, right? So if you release all those tickets at 9:00, by the 5th or 6th person in the queue in person, the tickets are going to be gone.
Yeah.
Because let's say 2-3 minutes to get people through, 2-3 windows open. They were going to all be gone after 3 or 4 minutes. So that's 100 odd people there that aren't going to be able to buy a ticket in person that have queued for that long. So surely a few tickets were withheld for those people. But then if they were withheld for that people, then that kind of, it's not first come, first serve, is it? I think it's really, really difficult.
It is hard. It is hard. And not obviously, like I've just said, we've sold out away ends, before. It's not a rarity, but not at the speed that we did against Wrexham. So for us to have bought in like a point system overnight, it wouldn't be, for me personally, I don't think it'd be beneficial. Because it just takes too long to sort of sift through all that information and, create that sort of database to make that viable. Because going forward, there's not going to be many away games unless sort of we can secure promotion here or there where we're going to sell away ends out, is there?
Yeah, I think in hindsight, we never thought this was going to happen. We took 400 odd away last year, and I know it was a Monday night on BT, but we took 400 away. We never really thought this was going to happen. But also, if you like you say, there's going to be some kind of system like that, I think then it's going to have to be done at the start of next season. The way I would personally do it, and I've seen it done at other clubs, is categories. So, a group A or group 1. So group A, B, C, D, and E maybe. Group A would be something like season ticket holders with, I don't know, 20 away games in the last 3 years. Group B, just season ticket holders. Group C, non-season ticket holders with 10 away games in the last 3 years. D, general sale maybe, something like that. I managed to get us the tickets, and it was a real pain. But we haven't made every away game this year. We've done a lot of away games this year, to be fair. We've done pretty much every game we could physically do around life, we've done. But if I'd been to every single away game this year or close to every game and I didn't get one, I'd be gutted.
Yeah, exactly. So
the anger I've seen, I fully get.
Yeah. But it's not the fans' fault, is it? It is a difficult position, I think. Obviously, if you're a season ticket holder and it's not Wrexham and you've not been to any away games and you're thinking, I'll possibly go to that game, you're obviously going to try and get a ticket, aren't you? But like you said, there's fans that literally go to every single game, home and away. And I agree. I do think they probably should get first dibs on tickets.
Yeah.
I'd honestly do. I'm not just saying that. But then you can't bring in a system halfway through a season just for sort of one game. I think that makes it increasingly difficult for the club. So it's just unfortunately one of those one-offs, isn't it? Which is difficult for both fan and club, and it's kind of hard to find a happy medium, I think.
Let's see, Chris, I'm literally gutted not to be going. Wrexham would have been my 32nd game of the season.
Yeah,
it's gutting. I really feel for everyone that didn't get a ticket, man. We're sat here luckily getting a ticket. We're in the 14% of people watching this video that got a ticket, but less than 14% of fans realistically would have got a ticket. Like you say, George, if we had that system in place for Torquay gets quite a good following. I don't know, an away game that we don't sell out, it's just going to limit the number of people that can go. If you start doing waves for games to, if we'd had it all season, you've got waves for Maidenhead away. It's not going. You're not going to have the full allocate. You're not going to take as many people as if you just put them on sale.
Yeah.
But I agree with what you say. You can't just bring it in for one game because it's not fair.
So, someone's just said in the chat here, Ticket Office said the system doesn't hold the historical information to collate quickly into point system, etc. So there you go. It's there, isn't it? And that's kind of what I thought.
Yeah.
To sort of, even if you go back through your account and you have to submit all the games you've been to and stuff like that. Like there's games that I've been to where someone's got a ticket for me or things like that won't be on my system as well. So it's one of those, isn't it?
Yeah. Adam says Wrexham's fault for only having 3 stands. I think I've heard a rumor. Now I'm not a conspiracy. I've heard a rumor they knocked down that stand on purpose to give Notts less.
Can they allocate us more though? Is the capacity to allocate us more?
Probably not. I think it's completely gone. I think they've sold every ticket from their point of view, and we've bought every ticket from our point of view. The one mistake I will say,
can't they just make, where they flatten the ground, that stand was?
Yeah.
Can't they just stand a few fans there?
They should do a Gillingham and put up scaffolding.
Yeah,
there you
go. Sorted.
The one thing I would say is a bit of an error is the opportunity for like supporters club members and Lifeline fans to be able to purchase. Because technically I could be a Lifeline fan that lives in Aberdeen and haven't been to a game, and then I get a ticket because I'm a Lifeline fan. But also the problem then is, well, if you've allowed Lifeline members and supporters club members to have priority all season, you can't then go to the game and say, well, this one you're not having priority. So you can't just take it away for one game. So
it's just a freak game. It's a freak game.
And I also think, as much as I really do feel for the people that haven't been able to get tickets that have gone to every game, you also can't really be too angry at the people that have got the tickets.
Yeah, exactly.
I do get it. I do get it. And I might be thinking differently if we hadn't managed to get them. But everyone wants to go to that game. But my final thought on it is there should in future be a loyalty point system where if you've been to most of those games, you get it. But
it'd be alright if they had I doubt there will be, but it'd be good if they had like a designated place for Notts fans to go, like a pub nearby or something like that.
In Wrexham?
Yeah, where the game will be on.
I don't think police would ever allow that, do you?
No, they definitely won't, but be good.
But yeah, so you could travel up with people that haven't managed to get tickets.
Yeah, you still get that like match day buzz.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, to break it all down, it's because it's because we're going to a really, really poor ground, isn't it? Essentially.
Yeah, it's actually worse than Mansfield because
I'll put it below
the same as Mansfield.
I'll put it just below Maidenhead. I would. Just below Maidenhead. It's a close.
The gazebo did it for me.
The gazebo did it. The one that's full of mould, that did it for me.
Yeah.
That's slightly better because actually that gazebo is better than having no stand behind the goal at all. So there we go. Yeah, it is on television. Lots of people saying that it is on TV. BT, and also if you haven't got that, I don't know if BT if it can be on National League TV, but we'll see. But I agree with some of the comments. Whoever's there, it has to be so loud, because what I will say for Wrexham is their atmosphere is good. It's really good. They're pumped at the minute. They're top of the league. 1,060 fans that are there, and if you've got a ticket and you last minute you can't go, you have to give that ticket away to someone else. You can't just leave an empty seat. We're going to be against 9,000 Wrexham fans trying to cheer Notts on. And how many times in the past few games, George, have you seen Langstaff and Ruben try and G up the crowd? Bromley away pictures on our thumbnail here. Maka did it as well. Ruben, after we equalised on Tuesday night, we've got to be incredibly loud. The loudest we've been all season by a mile. By a mile. Right. Barnet. Their form's dropped off a little bit, hasn't it?
Yes.
Barnet. Still difficult, though. Still difficult. Confident?
It's going to be difficult, mate. I'm not confident. I am confident, but I'm not confident as well. I know we can do it. It's just if we can do it away. They're a good side, Barnet are. They've had a good season.
That
Got some really good individual players.
He was class.
So yeah.
They're on 62 points. If we look at the form table, let's go for the past 30 points available. We've picked up 25. They've only picked up 15. They've really dropped off from when we played them. From when we played them, they've won 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 in a row. They've been unbeaten in about 10 games. We beat them, then they lost to Torquay, lost to Altrincham, beat Aldershot, but then they lost to Oldham, and they actually lost to Dorking. They did beat Yeovil in the most recent game. But actually, we're going to a position now where if we played them a few weeks ago, around that time when when we played them the first time, they were a bit more relaxed, but they're now going to slowly be looking over their shoulder, I think. I mean, they're in the playoffs by 7 points, but they've also got the pressure to try and get that third place spot, which they're 6 behind. Barnet had 6 missing on Tuesday night against Yeovil. I wasn't aware of that, but let's hope they're not back. I think it's a hard game, isn't it? It's a really hard game, and we always batter Barnet, Barnet, and that run has to come to an end at some point. But Wrexham go to Bromley. Don't you think though? It's like an adrenaline pumping win we got against Eastleigh. Like it's not like we were 3-0 up and coasting, and then they got a goal.
Definitely.
We actually did it.
Yeah.
We actually went and did it like that. So that works in our favour, I think. Trying to look at that Barnet side against Yeovil and who they actually have missing. Carnu did play. Kabamba came off the bench. It's still a good side. It's still a really good side. So let's go for our team. To face Barnet. What are you going for?
Tiernan in goal.
Yes.
Back 3. Chickson. Cameron Rawlinson.
Yeah.
Wing backs, Nemain. No. I don't know, actually.
We're thinking Baldwin's not going to be fit for this one.
Yeah, he's not, is he? Because they've said he's going to be back in the near future. So
I'm going to throw a spanner in the works. Well, not a spanner in the works. I'm going to say
Bajrami.
Yeah, Bajrami.
Then Chickson left wing back.
Yeah, and then the man on the right, I think. Then I think one of the most not underappreciated things is when we have to get the midfield partner of Matty Palmer right.
Bostock.
Do you think it is for that away game?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd agree. And then it's what do you do? Because then you've got 3 players left. For me, it's Jones and Ruben behind Maka.
I was going to say Ruben and Connor Lemon-Havens behind Maka.
But Sam Austin.
Oh, yeah, Sam Austin as well.
He's so good off the bench.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. I was saying that to Neil against Eastleigh, and he was sort of saying, some players are really good and they impact games, but I think Sam Austin is a really, really good sub. Really good sub. He has a huge impact when he comes into a game.
I think he's better when he comes off the bench, which is
harsh. I don't think he is better when he comes off the bench. I think he's the same. I think he gives the same level. But in terms of impact off the bench, out of the squad, he is the best impact off the bench, if that makes sense.
My only thing is, like you're saying, he gives that same level, but I think he gives the same level when he's starting to when he's off the bench. I'm not saying he doesn't play as well, but the difference is for me, teams are tired when he comes off the bench.
Yeah, exactly.
You see him chasing the ball down against Eastleigh on the side of where the Pavis is. They were they were sick of it. Like he was steaming past the player, nodded it past him, won the ball back. Too good, really good. But then Jody Jones, you know what I think he's really good at is his crossing.
Yeah.
And do I want him to play? I saw someone say that Conor Lemon-Evans was poor on Tuesday night. First half, he wasn't very good. Second half, must have been watching a different game to me. I thought second half he was so good, so good. And I think he's kind of arrived now, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's so hard. The only surefire players in that attacking lineup is Maka and Ruben. You then slot in Austin, Lemon-Evans, Jones, Junior Marais now in there. It's going to be really hard. But so are you keeping it as Lemon-Evans?
Yes.
And Ruben? Yeah?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Yep. First off the bench, Austin?
Yes.
Badrami impressed me. Did he impress you when he came on?
Yeah, he was good, yeah. Last couple of games he's been really good, to be fair.
He has been really good. He has been very, very good. Score prediction time then. It's going to be a hard one. It's going to be really difficult. We're not going to go there and thump them 5-0 like we did on the opening day last year. Not a chance.
Could happen.
No, not a chance.
Beat him 4-1 a few weeks ago.
We did. Not 5-0 though.
It's close.
Close, yeah.
I'll let you go first then. I'm going to say 2-1 Knots.
You let me go first. 2-1, who's scoring?
Mako and Ruben.
3-2 Knots. Maka double. Squeaky bum time for on Ricky Miller. And Lemon-Evans gets first.
Imagine he gets 2 and then he's just got to score 3 more to beat the record.
Insane.
Because we want him to beat it, don't we? He can't just match it.
Yeah, but we want him to beat it and go up. You don't want people saying it scored 43 goals and then didn't even go up.
Yeah.
Alex says 3-0 to Knots. Chris is going for the reverse scoreline of the home fixture. Maka hat-trick and Austin. If Maka scores a hat-trick, I say we just put a statue up. Because if he's scoring
what if he does what Haaland did in the week?
And get 5?
Gets 5. Done.
I'll change my name. I'll change my name. Thomas Langstaff. It's almost the same anyway. It's essentially the same anyway, isn't it? So
it's close, yeah.
It's close. I may as well just leave it actually. 3-1 Knots. We've got a 2-1 Knots, Langstaff and Lemon-Evans. Carl says 4-1 Maka hat-trick and Jones. 3-1 to Knots, Maka, 2 and Ruben. Don't you think Maka's really coming into it now? Given that that captain's armband, I think he's class.
Yeah, no, it's good to see. It's good to see him given the armband. I think he's been good. I think so. He's been a good captain. He leads by example. So scores plenty of goals.
There you go. I'm looking for what's his name's comment. I'm looking for the hat trick, the chicks and hat trick comment. I've got 5-0 Maka times 5. Charlie, I'll put on a bet. That sounds a safe bet. Maggie's gone 4-1.
Imagine Maka beats the record at Wrexham. That'd be unreal.
6-0 Maka hat trick. Okay, fair enough. We've got a 2-1 Knots, a 3-2 Knots. I've got a few more. We've got a 4-0. We've got Jack's going for a 3-1. Langstaff, Bostock, and Lemon-Evans. I'll go for 2 more. We've got a 4-1 Maka, and Maka with an own goal. And then I think I put them all in. So, going to be really, really, really tricky game. We will have a video out for Barnet, attending that Barnet game. Train strikes mean it'll be a drive down there, getting in that ULEV zone or whatever it's called, having to pay just to take my car into Barnet, which is like 3 miles into that zone. Poor. But there we go. The things you do, Things you do. Hopefully, everyone that's travelling is rewarded. I have just seen, George, not long ago, it looks like it's almost a sellout against Barnet.
That's good.
Genuinely looks like it's almost there. Really close, which will be good. I'd love it to actually get to a sellout, and we sell out the rest of the away games this season. So if you have joined us on this Thursday night, thank you so much for doing so. Massive numbers again. Please do subscribe if you haven't already, because you will never miss any of the content we post, especially after matches. What are we at, George? Are we episode 8 or episode 9 of It's All Black and White?
Just done episode 8.
We're rattling through the mark, so it'll be number 9. Yeah, safe travels if you're there, and hopefully we can bring back 3 points to take us into that next game against Scunthorpe.